And I don't know if people like join us or it just records. No, it looks like it's just recording.
Okay.
Recording. Yeah. So today is our first episode ever of Salt Air Desert Light. I'm Melissa Brodsky and this is Kyle Jones. And we decided after we had some conversations on the phone and we've done a couple lives to go ahead and make it official. So we decided to do a podcast, and here we are. Kyle, why don't you introduce yourself?
All right. Yeah, I'm super stoked. I'm very excited to do this. We have a good. I'm just gonna relax and be chill. Y- I get nervous for like a first thing like this, but I'm just gonna be myself. So there's just there's a lot going on. I don't know what to say. For those who don't know, I'm Kyle Jones. I was an anti-Zionist for I guess most of my life. A lot of it was through academia and just being in these liberal educational environments. Um, and then after the seventh, I mean, I don't know about you, Melissa, but well, I do. But the seventh, like, changed my life, and I couldn't reconcile these views I had about Israel with what was happening. So eventually, I think it's been like, I think I'm almost at a year now. So I'm still like a baby Zionist.
Wow, you
Uh,
really are. I didn't realize it was so early
Yeah,
on.
yeah, I'm a baby Zionist, but I changed my views, and now I'm here. I'm very pro Israel. I feel like I'm so pro Israel that the pro Israel people aren't enough. You know, I'm like, come on.
I'm lesser than right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's the zeal of like the newly converted or whatever, but yeah, so I mean, that's just a short quip. I changed my views after the seventh, and now I'm just most of what I do is write and try to counteract anti-Zionism, which I see it everywhere, I,
Everywhere.
everywhere. I think it was one of those things where I had heard about it, and I thought like, oh, it's a thing, but not like everywhere I look. And now it's everywhere I look. So I feel like we need to get ahead of it. We need to understand it better. A lot of people don't really know what it is. And yeah, that's a short intro for me. A little jumbled, but there you go. What about you, Melissa? You tell us
Well,
about yourself.
I've been writing and researching, trying to become a subject matter expert for years now for my marketing jobs. And when I got laid off, I'd been writing about this online for a long time, and I decided to go headfirst 100% full time into this. And I knew virtually nothing about our history. I just know that, I'm Jewish. I was born Jewish. I was raised Jewish, but I wasn't necessarily a Zionist, but I believed Israel had the right to exist, and I uh, believed that when the shit hits the fan, Jews can go there. And so I guess like I was a Zionist, but it wasn't my passion. It wasn't like, oh, I need to get to Israel. After October 7th, things changed. I became um the most Zionist I'd ever been in my entire life. Like you, like no one was Zionist enough. Like, how could you like even have any negative feelings about Israel? Um, and I started spending like this unreasonable amount of time uh becoming a subject matter expert because I knew nothing. I was looking at all the documents and our history and trails, like just following trails and teaching myself what I needed to know. And I mean, there's so much to know that I'm like in the process of, it's like you, I'm a baby when it comes to Jewish history. I didn't learn enough in Sunday school, and I know I didn't learn enough. So since October 7th, my life has centered around fighting anti-Semitism, explaining what Zionism is, explaining what our history, and showing that, and right now I'm on the trail of the proof that they're trying to erase. It's being erased in real time as we're watching our history be erased. And I write about it. Like I always have been like, wait, but why for everything? Like that's my husband calls me Barbara Walters for a reason. And it's because I'm like, wait, but why? And I always like am questioning people. And this was what I was questioning. And I write about what I find. I answer the questions I started with, and I come away with like 82 new ones. And
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, I mean, we met online. I remember seeing one of your history pieces, and that was really pivotal for me, was learning the history because, I mean, I had, like, the academic stuff, like, I could tell you about the destruction of the Second Temple. I
Mhm,
could, what Hellenized and Samaritan, like, historical stuff, but I didn't really know about, like, the state of Israel that much.
mhm,
Interestingly enough, like, I understood all the academic theory, but I didn't understand, like, for instance, it was never framed like Israel was founded with all these armies trying to destroy it.
mhm.
It was always, from the academic perspective, it was Israel went and like made this Jewish state a like in a bunch of with a bunch of Arabs around them.
Right.
They colonized it. Um, and that got deconstructed pretty quick when you go through the history.
Yeah.
And so I saw your historical stuff, and it really inspired me. I liked it. And it's funny you call yourself new because you've gone through, I mean, you write prolifically. So,
Oh, it's nonstop.
like, do you I have to ask, uh does it like rabbit trail? Do you write something and then you're like, "Oh, I got to like study that."
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Like I'll write a piece like let's call it the slavery piece that I wrote, for example. Um I so I look for like if I write an article and I restack it on Substack, I like to add more context to it. So I'll like research other things that happened during that time. So I just restacked about the children of the slave trade and how they kept getting resold and resold and resold. And so yeah, so it's like a constant rabbit trail. And that's why, like, I was doing this little series and I'm still doing it. I just keep getting so distracted with everything else because I'm like, in the process of so many different things. Um, I have this series of falling down a rabbit hole, and am creating images. People don't like it. I use AI of falling down the rabbit hole because that's
I've
what I
seen
do.
I've seen them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm constantly falling down a rabbit hole, and it leads to other rabbit holes, and there are so many rabbit holes. Like Hamas has tunnels, I have rabbit holes.
Yeah, yeah. Yours will be used to help people, so that's a
Yeah, yeah.
difference.
Well, yeah, yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
my heart positive thing, I hope.
yeah, you had mentioned, like, earlier when you first after the 7th going through and studying all of it, I remember the crazy journeys I would go on with it was like AI had sort of come out, and I was a little late to the scene, and I remember using AI to, like, try to hunt down, like, laundered Iranian money in like, through through Ham through Hamas, like, handlers, and, uh, I remember, going on Google Earth and looking at this one section of Gaza, time lapsed over, like, a year to see, like, whether there was a water main that had been bombed. And I was like, I'm going insane. Like, I think I might clinically be going crazy. Um,
Yep,
but that's what it did. Like, for me, the urgency is so dire that the consequences are everywhere right now. Like, not just like Temple Israel is a good example. I keep going back to that, but
yeah,
all over, like Bondi Beach, just everything that's happening in the world right now, it's
yep,
crazy.
yep, and people are actively voting for like DSA people because they hate Israel.
I don't get it.
They're marching to their own destruction because God forbid they should look into the history, and it's just unreal. Like the amount of, what is it, cognitive dissonance, and uh all the other psychological terms that you can put with it. It's just like this giant combination of a virus. It's an absolute virus that people are actively, I mean,
What
killing
what's the
themselves.
what's like one of the things I don't really get. Ironically, I'm obsessed with Israel now,
Yeah, me too.
but I wasn't then because
Mhm.
it was just, like, uh, I didn't like discussing it too much because I had Jewish friends, and I I never wanted to be like, "Hey, so, that state you guys have? What's going on with that whole thing?
Yeah,
Like, are you colonizers? Do you like?" Because it's uncomfortable, and I never wanted to be rude. But it's because it's portrayed so negatively, and
yeah,
I guess I never understood how people were so obsessed with Israel. And right now, well, I mean, I look around and it's fetishized. It's hyper. People are hyper fixated on it. Their whole careers are built on talking about it or bashing it. And I've never seen a country more demonized than Israel in the
right.
media and everywhere.
Yep.
So when you talk
It
about erasing the history, um, that's a really interesting like rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway, that was just my little rant.
yeah, no, and it is interesting that the amount of energy. So someone asked me today to, how can I defend Israel? And I'm like, to me, it's not about the government. And then someone said, "Prove it." And I said, I don't vote there. Like, that's not, like, I don't vote there. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just, it's insane. Like, it's I'm trying to think of, like, how to word it. Like, they, so what I said was, we're gonna have to, like, cut this out.
No
Um,
worries.
what I responded was, "Okay, say, the elections are coming up.
Mhm.
So you don't like Netanyahu, you don't like, Ben Gvir. Okay, say they get voted out. Then what? Like, then what? Right?
Yeah.
Like, you're still gonna hate Israel.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna be the IDF, then it's gonna be something else, like, and then it's gonna be the new leadership. So let's not pretend that it is the leadership, because it's not, and this went before Netanyahu. People hated it when Golda Meir was president, and she was fantastic.
Great. I mean, you can't. How are you gonna hate on like a,
Grandmother.
a badass, strong Wisconsinite being the prime minister of it? Like, how can you hate on that?
Right,
But no, you're making a good point because what I do, a lot of the time I spend is actually flushing out what the differences are between, say, criticism of the state or criticism of policy and anti-Zionism.
right,
And a big one is that let's just imagine, because anti-Zionists try to cloak it under it's just a critique, it's just a political, um, you know, uh, expression or position. But then you gotta say they bring something up like something about a settlement or the West Bank or Gaza and the war, things like that. And they like, okay, well, this shouldn't happen. Then we just concede the point. Like, okay, so that changes. Like you said, then what?
right,
And what I find is that you can tell it's anti-Zionist because it never gets satisfied.
right,
All the policy in the world can change, all the government and that's it, like they can all change, and still Israel is a problem. It's still nefarious, it's still
Oppressive,
evil, and
colonizer,
it's still just
apartheid.
the goal is its destruction. The
Yeah,
goal is it being gone. So
yeah,
you're like you said, let's cut the nonsense. Like
yeah,
just admit it. You don't care about policy, really. Like
right. No,
so,
you don't care about policy. You don't even care about the Palestinians. You just want Israel gone, period. You
yeah,
know,
that's a
it's
good point. Like
it's
meaning it's not. It's always done under like the care. Like I'm worried about the suffering of Palestinians, and the people who say that could care less about
right.
the suffering of
No.
Palestinians. They just want to like coming from that arena. I know personally, they want to show how virtuous they are,
Oh, it's total virtue signaling. Yeah.
and they got to say and Jewish identity, Jewish history, Jewish what Jews are saying disrupts that whole paradigm. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with the academic theories. It doesn't fit with like what people are saying on the ground. It doesn't fit with what it like the pro-Palestinian thing.
Right.
Like Jewish identity and history disrupts the whole thing.
Right. And they don't like that. And that's why you notice when you hit the bullseye on one of your articles, that's what gets attacked. You know,
Yeah,
it absolutely they pile on an attack. When I've written about just anti-Semitism, like, just talking frankly about it's not history, it's not anything. Like, I just wrote a post yesterday about anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism, um, all of it. It got attacked, and I did like an AI picture of me holding a Jewish flag, the Israeli flag, and people were like, "You wipe your ASS with that rag," or blah blah blah, like just horrible like things. I've reported and I had to block. I mean, it's terrible. I shut down the comments because of how bad it was getting because I
yeah,
hit the nail on the head, and God forbid the truth gets out there because the more pile on it, people don't want to share posts like that because it's got a lot of negativity in the comments.
yeah. That I don't know how to navigate. I've been messaged like people have messaged me saying like, how do I allow? One, I don't have enough time to go through every comment.
No, it takes forever.
Uh, Two, yeah, there's an infinite amount of anti-Semites. Like, they're a vast number, so they're hard to. So I put like the stuff that tries to filter them out. Um,
It doesn't work, not
it,
really.
no, they find a way, and then I get messaged like, "Well, why aren't you like?" Are kind of like I'm condoning it almost,
Yeah.
or I'm platforming them.
Yep.
I'm not. I just honestly, I've reported them so much that I've been put in Facebook jail.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to do.
No.
My Facebook friends argue with them, and I do sometimes, but I don't have enough bandwidth
No.
to
No.
keep up. And also, like, not just trolls, but these people are idiots. Like, I don't mean to. I don't mean to be pretentious. Pretentious, but uh, their
Complete
reason.
moron.
Yeah, they're idiots. They're actual living, breathing, troglodytic, like open mouth breathers. Like they're um so anyway, I you've experienced some really scary stuff too though. Like you've had like stalkery type people, right?
Well, I had back when I was in Michigan, I had a woman I had written a post about a sign that was over near Temple Israel, Adopt a Road, and it was Palestinians lives matter or some kind of sign like that. And it wasn't the sign itself that was offensive because like freedom of speech and all that. And of course Palestinian lives matter and whatever. But to put it was intentionally. The man, it turns out to be it was like a Muslim man in the area, and he said it wasn't intentional, but it was. It
So
was.
it was right by. It's like on the street by Temple Israel,
It
right?
was, yeah, it was it was way too close for it to not be into, and plus it was right by, many other synagogues.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like a
So
Jewish area right there, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's diverse, but that's, like, where, yeah, a lot of the Jewish people live. And, so I wrote a post about it that went viral, and some wackadoo, uh, doxed me on she had millions of followers somehow. This woman had millions of followers, combined with all her platforms, and she doxed me. I mean, I had to get the police involved. I blocked her out of all my platforms. I mean, that doesn't mean her little people can't come find me, but she was blocked from my platforms. And,
So I didn't know that. So it was like an
you didn't know.
actual, an actual like influencer type person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She was very, I don't remember if she was liberal. It doesn't matter right, left, but she was very critical of the government in general. I looked at some of her posts, and she definitely has a mental condition, but somehow
You mean
somehow she's
outside of being pro Hamas, like
yeah, but somehow she's been able to, mm, you know, amass a huge following. But she really, like, it scared me, because back in my early days of blogging, I had been, cyber terrorized, me and a few other mommy bloggers, where the FBI literally got involved, and, they lost her the
it's
woman's trail. Yeah, and, like, I was getting phone calls. Another one, the woman, found this other blogger and started sending her pizzas. I mean, it was just bizarre. So, it scared me because I've been there, done that, and,
yeah,
I didn't wanna go through that again. Yeah, and I was on the news, about this sign, and I was at first gonna go in as an anonymous person, and then I'm like, "You know what? People are gonna know who it is anyway because it's my post that went viral,"
yeah,
and so, yeah, that
yeah.
was
That was actually, yeah, I remember that, and I remember thinking like that's badass that you just said like forget it. I'm just put me on, but at the same time, it was like oh god, like be careful, you
yeah, it
know.
was stupid. In retrospect, it's stupid, yeah.
Yeah,
I won't be doing that again.
I I always have. Well, I mean, at the same time, yes, it probably was, but at the same, I liked it in the sense of like, you know, like f them. Like you
Yeah,
should just, sometimes you gotta just stand on what you stand on.
right, and
And
that's
I'm
yeah,
always torn. I'm always torn with that because I want on one side of me wants to say like, yeah, tell them like just to all the Jewish community listening or to anyone I've met over this last year. Yes, tell them, stand up. Don't hide your necklace. Don't. But then the other part of me is like, well, no, but stay safe. Like I don't want you to get hurt, and I understand people having to hide their necklace.
yeah,
Like not personally because I have that Gentile privilege, but
yeah,
like if I was Jewish, like I understand doing that. And I'm not going to shame anyone for doing that.
right,
But I do like when they step. So it's like one of those weird balances.
yeah.
Um, but also the caveat there is that you lived by there.
I
It
grew up
wasn't
there.
like you just picked an area to.
I grew up there. We were there visiting our family, and that was the other thing that concerned me is that, my family lives there and,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, and as for hiding necklaces and hiding, but like, don't do it. Don't hide. Don't be the Jew with trembling knees, but that's my side. I now wear this is my Jewish star. Can you see it?
Yeah. It's cool. It's really
I love
pretty.
on Israel. This is Israel. This shape is Israel. Do we understand?
No,
Yes.
no. Wait. You're talking about like what? I love when people go, "Oh, it's Palestine."
It
Do you
used to
mean like
be
mandated
Israel.
Palestine, or do you mean like uh Palestine? What Syria when it was?
kind of
when the Roman emperor changed it to disconnect Jews from the land.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. So
it's Israel.
it's
Like
Israel.
I did this piece that I thought was really interesting. I don't know how it didn't do the best on my Substack, but I liked it, so that's all I care about really
Yeah,
is
we have to write for ourselves too. Yeah.
yeah, it's on the Arabic term that a lot of countries in a lot of you know Muslim and Arab majority places say because they don't want to say Israel. They call it the entity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you hear it in anti-Zionism and in the protests a lot, like you know, decolonize the Zionist entity,
Uh-huh.
or dismantle the entity or Zionist entity. And I remember thinking, this is so weird. Why are you? First of all, it's strange to call it the entity. It
It
sounds
gives
like
it
a.
kind of the, like, godlike,
Would say it again?
it gives it almost like a godlike, feel, like, it's kind of empowering for Israel.
It
Yes,
it
it is
it,
a
it
Zionist entity.
Yes, yeah, that's interesting. It actually platforms it. You can see how it's kind of fetishized by that too. Is
Yeah,
it turns it into something so grandiose. But so the entity, but it's also so childish because they call it the entity because they don't want to say the word Israel.
it's like so
Because
Harry Potter, isn't it? Like, the name we can't
yes,
say loud.
yeah, that it's the whole those we don't speak of.
Yeah,
And it's like, well, you just spoke of it.
right.
And the really funny parts are when I found speeches by like very anti-Israel people, and they would go in the speech, they would go, "Oh yeah, like the Zionist entity," and just to clarify, they would go Israel. Like, well, you're saying the entity to not say Israel, but then you're saying it to explain not saying it.
Uh-huh.
And
Just in case
anyway,
it's in someone's head, yeah.
yes, just say Israel. Like it. That's another thing I don't get is look, it's been 80 years. Like, get over it.
Right,
Like
right.
it's done. Like Zionism won, and it should. And just like get over it. Like I don't understand.
Well, it's like, that's what I say too, like, it's like if you just left them alone, guess what? Everything would be fine. No one would bother each other, but, like, you keep bombing them and you keep, sending rockets over to Israel, what do you expect? You're
Yeah.
just a scared bully. You're gonna eventually get beaten up, but, that you can't just keep hitting someone and not expect to get bitch slapped back.
Yes. I agree. And people always begin this story about Israel on the 8th. Like it's like let's go back a day before the 8th.
Right. Well, it doesn't fit the
And what happened then? I mean, going through the details of the 7th is just I did again recently, and it's almost uh that's one of the things that really got me too was like the gory details are
Yeah,
really
yeah, I saw some of them, and
they're just so revealing because it shows this strategic, organized um campaign, but it also shows like a barbaric nature to it, and the
yeah,
justification for almost anything as is like by all means necessary to you know dismantle the occupation, stop the Zionists, globalize the Intifada from the river to the sea. All of this stuff it justifies almost anything. And you're right. If everyone just stopped, Israel's not actively going out to do this, but th- like any other country, they have to protect their citizens.
yeah,
You
they have an
know?
obligation. It's like that's why the government's there one of the reasons why the government's there is to protect the people that live on that land. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I don't. I do. I always find it funny. I don't know about you, but like the whole holding Israel to another standard.
right. Why?
It's like we never go. Like, why does America have? We never treat our borders like they're violent, oppressive things. We're like, well, we just need borders.
Right.
Like every other country needs a freaking border, and
Right.
we have a border. But when Israel has a border or a wall or whatever, all of a sudden it's apartheid.
Yeah, I know. It makes no sense. None of this makes sense though. Like it's been there. I've been saying since October 8th, like October 7th happened. And I was like, oh, October 8th, things will go, things will go normal. Like they'll right the wrong. Like something's going to happen. And October 8th, they started marching with Hamas, pro Hamas and wearing the keffiyeh and I just remember thinking like there are no words in the human language to describe what is happening now. And then, yeah, like so explain why it's not okay for Israel to have borders, but it's okay for everyone. I mean, just like everything is so upside down. Like October 8th or October 7th, it was so brutal that there are no words in the human. They had to invent a word for genocide. There
Yeah,
are no words to describe what happened on October 7th, literally.
yeah,
and and that the world turned upside down and cheered for that was insane, but it also shows you that like they were conditioned. Like this was being it was a machine. Something was going on to lead
yeah.
up to this.
Yeah, I
And
think it touches on what you'd write about a bit is the like civilizational strategies and like long-term goals. Because I had always heard about like Qatar money in schools and in academia, and Muslim Brotherhood long term
a hundred
plans,
and mhm.
and then like slowly turning Western minds into like these receptacles that are these receptors like that are um easily manipulated by
Mindless zombies, I call them. Yes.
yes, like the red green alliance,
Yes.
this kind of stuff. And after the 7th I saw that activated throughout all of America, like
West, the whole West.
the whole West. Because well, like I was in academia, so in higher education it was like all the protests, at the encampments, the cheering for uh, the rape of Israeli women, and liberal women cheering for it.
Me
It'd be
Too movement cheering for it. Mhm.
yeah, me too, unless you're a Jew, right?
Yep.
I remember going like, even if I believe the liberal leftist perspective on this, you're not going to get me to be okay with like I couldn't understand how they could be okay with it. And that's sort of when I realized, look, liberalism and this whole let's care about the minority and help the oppressed is bullshit. Like it failed Jews. It like massively failed Jews who they should have protected.
Yeah.
Um, that's when I was like, look, I don't want any part of this nonsense. Like this is uh it's just a bunch of platitudes, and to make you feel good, to make you feel like you're on the right side and all this. But when it comes down to it, all
You're
those
not.
people who were saying that they'd punch a Nazi wouldn't do nothing.
Nope. They'd say, "There's a Jew."
They're the ones that went like, oh, so you're Jewish, like, do you denounce Israel? Like, are you gonna be a good Jew and like, do like hop and skip for us?
Right.
Nonsense.
I
I saw that happen to a friend of mine, and that was a big catalyst because I was like, I can no longer be part of this anymore. This is utter like disgraceful behavior, and they thought they were doing something righteous.
I can't tell you how many times people have in my comments, not in person, because none of this ever happens in person. Like, things have been fine in person, but, like, online, "Do you denounce" what Israel's doing. I'm like, "What's Israel doing?" There is no genocide. There is no, do you denounce the West Bank? Do you de what's what's going on in the West Bank? That yes, there's stuff going on in the West Bank, but the Palestinians are killing the Jewish, farmers' animals, they're poisoning the wells, so and the Palestinians or Gazans make it appear that, um it's more weighted on the Israeli side because they report, like, crashing into a tree as, a terrorist attack, like
Yes. Yep, and the stories of the police, like, being called so frequently is
Mhm.
because it's reported, like,
Everything's reported.
ten times fold, and then the media does this thing where, like, the agency of Palestinians is completely removed.
They're babies.
There's they are, like, they're infantilized, it's like
Mhm.
this paternalistic view that they don't make their own decisions.
Right.
And you don't even talk about it. Like, I remember, like, how many reports where it's like Hamas just disappears, and anything by Al Jazeera,
Oh,
or
God.
like, you just like, where did Hamas go? Like, it's like the conversation, like,
Right.
it's like they're trying to pull the wool, the rug under you without you noticing, and it's like,
Yep.
wait, can we
We
go
know
back?
this.
Yeah, or they'll say, like, the one thing, like, so what's your take on the genocide? Like, you mentioned the genocide, and it's like, well, first of all, can we stop there? Like, skirt.
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep going because I don't agree with you. Like, there's no genocide happening. Um,
Well, there are, but it's just not where you think it is.
yes, yes, and like, it's interesting for people to say that when the leaders of the Palestinians are actively saying genocidal things. Like, they actually want a genocide.
They do. They wanna genocide the Jews, and then don't worry, they're coming for you too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't, and I had a friend do a guest post on my thing, and it was about how he hated that argument because it's the best argument you can make to non-Jews, like, because it appeals to their safety. Because, like, they're not going to care about about Jewish safety, so they're going to come for you after us. I'm like, you should probably be against it just because they're killing Jews. I mean, that's just a thought,
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, like, we are your defense wall, like, if they kill us, you wanna keep us alive so they don't get to you. Think of us as your border wall. You wanna
yeah.
keep us alive.
And I mean, it's happening right now too. Like, if you think about Iran and, like, Hezbollah, and I talked to an IDF. I had to do this. I had to go. Okay, give me someone in the IDF. I need to talk to them. Because all the depictions, I had kind of thought they were all like subhuman, like,
Yeah,
monstrous, wickedly evil people, because that's how they're portrayed. But of course, they're just a military like any other military.
they're human beings. There's gonna be some rotten ones, and there's gonna be some great ones, like, just like our army, just like any other army.
Yeah, but the hyperfixation and the fetishizing and the projecting, like, they make it so that it the IDF can't just be normal people.
Right, right.
Um, and yeah, turns out they're just normal people, and they're not. Some of them are bad. Some of them do bad stuff, but not any more than any other. I could guarantee you that America's military is way worse than IDF.
Yeah,
Um, but he's talking about how, he's on the northern line, like, in northern Israel, dealing with Hezbollah rockets, and you realize that this whole narrative that we've been given is, um it never tells a person like his voice. We don't ever hear, like, you notice that you never hear IDF ever being interviewed.
no. No, only by other people on that side, but never, yeah, no, they because they don't want that narrative. Like they do not want to humanize. If they humanize them, they can't be a target anymore. Just like, if you're being robbed, you're supposed to talk to the person and make them realize that you're human, and then it makes them not want to. I don't know, that's just something I heard. So,
Sure.
the minute you become human, it makes it harder to hate you.
Yeah, absolutely. I just, I don't know, I get upset because I feel like I was duped a little bit,
Yeah.
and I had bought into a bit of it,
Yeah.
like, all my news used to be, like, NPR and BBC and, New York Times,
Oh
and
God.
now I look at him and I'm like, "You guys let a person publish an opinion piece saying that the Israeli army trains dogs to rape people?"
And people still throw that around like it's the truth. Yep.
I I've had people share it with me like, here's a data point, and I'm like, "Dogs don't rape humans," you know?
It's kind of almost biologically impossible, I believe.
Yes, you'd have to. I remember thinking, like, the dog whisperer would have to be really good.
Yeah.
Um, so but yeah, I just felt like the media, is just kind of, uh it bothers me because it's a justice issue. Like, I don't, uh I don't like Israel being bullied.
Yeah, no, I don't either. No, I'm doing this whole actually like this deep dive. It's not really a deep dive. Um, so when I was in marketing, I was learning how to write press releases. And so I was talking to this PR woman who was teaching me how to write press releases. And we were talking about how, and this was probably 15, 20 years ago. And we were talking about and this was like when clickbait was just starting to be really popular. And we were like, in the news, that's when it started showing too. Like it wasn't, oh, Johnny did good anymore. Johnny is the first kid in his family to get a full ride to Harvard. No,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
Johnny went to the neighbors, robbed them, and then set their house on fire. Like everything, it's all this shock value.
Mhm,
So, and it's evolved, and there are sciences behind it, and behind headlines. I mean, and in marketing too. Like i- you want to make people click because clicking, brings money for the brand.
mhm.
So, and the same thing goes with news because the more clicks, the more, money is made for the newspaper. So they have to lead with these horrific titles, then people don't remember much past the title. Like, "Oh, I saw," and so I'm doing this whole article about it, and then I totally lost my track of thought because I went into the whole but it's a problem, and that's part of the problem of what's leading, mm, aside from being the universities teaching kids the wrong thing. uh It's the media leading the way for all this, divisiveness. God, the media is so complicit based on I mean, we know. But, the dog rape case, like, stuff like that. Like, they're the shock value and then the story, but the story gets buried. And then when, as we know, when the truth comes out, they offer a, retraction, but it's, like, in tiny little letters that you need a microscope to see, or
Yeah. I
and
remember looking for, actually, it was the other day, I went looking for the retraction for the Al Ali hospital,
oh, uh-huh.
which that one was huge because they had said, Israel had killed 500, like, just blew up a hospital,
Right.
like an entire hospital,
Right.
just like flattened everyone. And
Right.
I remember when it came
Still
out.
there somehow, isn't it?
Yeah,
The
yes, yes, and there are images of like where the rocket, which was a rocket
Hamas
from
rock.
Gaza,
Uh-huh.
that misfired, or and all that. But I remember thinking, you know what damage that does to have a headline say Israel like kills a whole hospital,
Right.
and
That was
even
like
I.
the really beginning of the end, you know?
Yeah, it was. I remember seeing it and going, even I, like, who had been changing my views, was like, wow, like if they did that, if the IDF, if they like targeted a hospital, there's no, even if Hamas was using it, there's no justification when you have so many people in there that are innocent and that,
Yeah.
right? So but it was nonsense, it was just
Yeah, of course.
a. And then I try to find because the Guardian put out a retraction,
I think the New York
and
Times too from what I remember.
but it's like buried behind like the obituary section that you don't
Every
look at.
Yeah, everything. And even when they offer the retraction sometimes on social media, they'll take it down. It's
I don't know. I always wondered. So there's no. I used to think like, oh, the New York Times, like these are trained journalists, like they should have journalistic integrity and be held to standards. There's
they're
no standards that they're held to. Like
Mhm.
they're literally just up to their own devices.
Yeah, yeah. I learned in that one thing I remember learning in Sunday school was about Henry Ford being a raging anti-Semite. And the other thing I remember is learning, so was the New York Times, that during the Holocaust, all the news, not like barely anything made it onto the front page and it was all buried. And I remember learning this lesson and I remember saying early on, I will never subscribe to the New York Times. And
Hmm.
to this day, I don't even read it. Like I'll like try to get into an article and read it. I'll have people send me guest posts that like the guest ones that you can send sometimes if I need to read the article, but I won't spend a penny. Like I've deleted Wordle from my phone because I was like, yeah, I don't want New York Times on my phone. Um,
It turns out that was good advice the whole time.
it was
Yeah, I didn't, a liberal Gentile in academia, we're told that the New York Times is the zenith, the
well,
pinnacle of journalism. And I mean, I've had people go, well, that's just Christoph. Okay, no, it's not
no,
just
it's not
Christoph.
just Christoph.
And editors had to approve it. It goes through a whole process,
I read
and
the editor too, that the op-ed editor. I can't Kathleen something or not. Yeah.
she has a history
Oh
of
yeah.
it. Like, so it's yeah, it takes a village, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you read I posted, there was the 8 uh whistleblower insider reports about Amnesty International, about Human Rights Watch, about all these NGOs,
Yeah.
and how they specifically tell their employees to pivot against Israel. Like you have the anti-Zionist assumptions, and they had like the genocide report before any genocide claim was made. They had already labeled it genocide report.
Yeah. Didn't the
Eh,
daughter of the founder come out and say how horrified she was
for which one?
for Amnesty?
I don't know.
Yeah, someone because so I read about it. I'm like, you know what? So many other people are gonna cover this. There's too many. I can't really, right? Like you can't cover everything. Uh, so
Well,
yeah,
you
that
go
was.
all the way back to 1800s, so
I'm
you
going
can't.
further back than that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I that it's just another example where it's like they just feed off of each other and they quote each other, and
Yep.
then the UN quotes them. So then the UN, which is
It's really
also like horribly, uh,
yeah.
I
Useless.
yeah, I can't understand the UN anymore. Like it doesn't. It's completely biased. It's
Yeah,
unfair. It's like the one resolution they have forever. It's only for Israel. Like
yeah,
item 7.
yeah. It's yeah. Israel's the only one that has pretty much their own item. I remember in I think it was ninth grade Sunday school. They took us in high school every year on a different like weekend trip, and we went to New York for our confirmation class. And we were all so excited because one of the stops we were going on was the UN. And now it's like I wouldn't want to set foot in there unless it was to yell at someone.
I have to wonder who's the who's Israel's delegate.
Oh, that's easy. That I can't remember his name. We do.
I
We have a really good one.
Yeah, I've seen interviews with him. I can't remember his
Great.
name,
Oh
but
shoot, I'm googling it.
can you imagine the skin on this person? Like they have to be leather tough. Um, because like all you're doing is going into a den of vipers.
Oh, Danny Dannon is one.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's someone else,
There's
but
someone else too, but I can't. Yeah, and I don't want to like. Yeah,
yeah, but
well,
I still had this remnant of an idea that it was like at least somewhat like fair. Then you have like the Human Rights Council with like Iran. Like Iran just executed like tens of thousands of its own people and took
not
the
over
internet,
100,000 probably. Yeah,
blacked out the internet.
yeah.
Um, and nobody's really talking about it.
No, is Afghanistan on there too? Like, aren't they? Because like they're probably for women's rights. They're probably they.
Yes,
Yes, all women should be seen and not heard, barefoot and pregnant, under the burqa.
yes, and don't talk too much because the real problem is women like thinking is one, can't
Yeah.
have that, and then
No,
the
God.
worst, talking.
Oh, it'd be even worse. Yeah. And thinking and talking at the same time.
Oh God. But I know we've sort of like just had our own. I've had my own rants, and I don't know. We'll eventually have more structure to this, I
We will,
assume.
and we'll have guests and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah. Anyway.
this is how our phone calls go anyway.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna worry. A part of me is
Yeah.
thinking like it should be structured, and we should do this or that. This is for we're doing this for fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I love
So,
doing it. I think it's yeah, I didn't think I'd like being on a podcast. I don't it's funny because I've been on I think 3 podcasts and I do it because I think it's important, but I don't like being the person being interviewed. Like I would much rather be on the side of I want to have the questions lined up to ask the person that's sitting on the other side of the screen.
yes, it's easier that way.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I don't worry about tripping over my tongue as much, because I get really nervous and then I sound like a blithering idiot. And we have to do a lot of editing to make me sound reasonably intelligent.
I have been I'm doing these. I'm really excited about this. I'm doing a couple presentations on anti-Zionism for a Zionist group in Canada.
Oh, tell us
I'm
about that.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's gonna be awesome. Um, so, uh, well, I guess first things, I'll just be real quick here. I'm working with Stop Anti-Zionism,
I know
so
it's so amazing.
stopaz.org. I'm gonna do their kind of, their artistic and other educational direction. I'll be doing that, which I'm super excited about.
Amazing.
Nia Lect, like she's impressive and very, learned and great in this whole field. And I mean, it was like a year ago when I was reading her stuff, going, she really gets it. And now I'm part of
It's
like her.
amazing.
I'm like, this is cool. But um, I'm preparing these talks on how we like identify, understand, and counter modern anti-Zionism. Um, and I don't know where. See, I already lost my train of thought. Where was I going there?
Well, let me ask you based on what you just said, and this is what I think that we need to talk about more. Like, from an anti-Zionist standpoint, an ex-anti-Zionist, are we're talking wrong, aren't we? We're like as a whole, because we all operate in our own silos and we talk about things the way we think we should be talking about them,
Yeah.
but we're doing it wrong. And we know this historically because it's never gotten better ever, you know. How do you think, like we have Melanie Phillips who does a great job trying to, but you can't fight the anti-Zionism by saying stop being an anti-Zionist because that's not going to make someone stop being an anti-Zionist.
No.
What are we doing wrong, and what do you think what would have reached you? Because something did.
Yeah. See, that's. I mean, you just asked the question. Um, and there's no real answer to it other than like I have suggestions. So one you're right. The anti-Zionism that people talk about isn't what's practiced. Like, and then there's different forms of it. So there's a whole complicated. I could problematize it, but I'm gonna do the opposite. One, I'd say to talk to an anti-Zionist, make them realize that the Zionism that they're depicting a false Zionism.
Yeah.
To them, Zionism is just like basically a word for all things evil.
For the
Um,
oppressing, colonizing, apartheiding, all of it all. Yeah.
they'll go all the way from Zionist. They'll connect it to capitalism. They'll
Yeah.
connect it to communism. Like they'll
Yep.
connect it to opposites.
Socialism, everything. Yep.
Yes. So it just becomes a term, a nebulous term that means like evil.
Yeah. For
So if you
everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah.
yes. So having them realize that, I think getting them to know Jewish people helps, but there's only 15 million, so I don't
Yeah.
know how to equally distribute 15 million people to optimize the
I know.
educational. Like, I need more Jews here, more
Yeah.
Jews here, and then the anti-Zionist Jews, the less than 3%, 4%, which
Oh,
that's important because us Gentiles tokenize them.
yeah.
They do not represent Jews at all.
No.
Um, you know, those ones can just, I don't know, they can go somewhere and just like sit in a room together quietly. That's a bad
Just
joke.
be out of the way. Yeah. Just get out of our way.
Yeah. So getting to know Jews helps a lot because the flesh and blood.
Yeah.
Getting them to realize that they're not talking about actual Zionism. When you hear a Jewish person describe passionately what Zionism means to them, that's what Zionism is.
Yeah.
So it's not this huge evil like metaphysical presence.
Mhm.
I'd say showing them, this is the one thing that got me, was being shown that why was I BDS towards Israel and not like Pakistan or China or Russia or all these horrible countries in the world. I'm fine with wearing the boxers that they make in their country.
Right.
I'm fine with the shoelaces from China, but somehow I can't eat some produce from Tel Aviv.
Hummus. Or yeah.
Yes, and it bothered me because I was like, you know what? That's a good point. I'm being inconsistent.
Yeah.
So I think that is pointing out inconsistency is helpful.
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway, we could go on forever about it.
I
But
know. I know. We do try to point out the inconsistencies, a lot of us, because it's like you are using Facebook on your cell phone with Israeli technology. Like, if you're gonna BDS, then BDS, like get rid of all of it. But yet they don't because
and they certainly won't when they need that life saving medical technology.
yeah,
They all of a sudden they won't. You know,
no,
yeah, they want it when they want it, and then they hold double standards. Everything, I'm telling you, everything about Israel is double standard mania.
Yeah.
So I just want to work on like getting more people like Gentiles to see what I see.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
another part of it, just an ending, is that unfortunately there's only so much we can do. I mean,
There is. There is.
so
And we just have to be positive and move forward and not, like, you and I live our lives online very, very much, but we also owe it to ourselves, and I need to practice this as well, to stay offline and realize like it's bad out there, but it's way worse on the internet. Way,
it
way worse
is.
on the internet. Like I wear this. My husband has a big Jewish star and tattoos up his arm of various, Jewish, like the Jewish star, Chai, whatever. If anything, it's positive. Like, oh, I love that tattoo. What does it mean? Like conversation. Never have we had, and I'm not saying just because my experience is my experience. We know that there's bad experiences out there.
Oh, your
Not
experience with the Palestinian woman.
Well, yeah, that was quite a few years ago. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that keeps yeah, should I
Yeah,
talk
sorry.
about
Anyway, that
it?
just because that one's really
It
like,
was so that to me, and I gotta say, I know we're running out of time,
yeah.
but, my friend and I had gone to a bar in Ferndale, Michigan, which is like a cute little town, and, there was a band playing, I believe it was the Cure cover band called The Recure, and we
Love it.
were up at the front bar getting these I drink tequila. Okay, there you go. I drink tequila. And so I was getting a tequila shot, and there was someone behind me who saw I was wearing a chai at that time, who
Mm.
started talking to me about my chai, and he was Lebanese. And he's like, "I have someone you need to talk to." And he brought me over to his little friend, this girl, she's probably 23, 24. I'm like maybe not quite 50 yet. And she looks at my chai, she goes, "The first thing I wanna do is kill you, like, I wanna stab you to death." And I'm like, "Why?" Like, it didn't dawn on me that what went on in Israel and the Middle East would ever come to our shores. But here we were, I was having a conversation with this kid who wanted to stab me. I mean, we ended up chatting and I don't feel like I moved the needle with her at all, even though she was very, gracious after a while to just, chat, and she gave me a hug, and that
She
was it.
didn't stab
She
you.
she didn't stab me, I don't know whether she went on to stab another Jew, though.
Yeah, I mean, because you know, wearing a necklace, it's stab worthy.
It is. It's a high, and, that just means life and whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, but that one stuck in my memory because it's so stark and tragic.
It is
Uh,
tragic because I didn't know that we were supposed to hate each other because I knew there was stuff going on, but I didn't know that it is supposed to be that we hate each other because I don't hate anyone unless they're jerks.
yeah,
I didn't even hate her that she wanted to stab me. I felt sorry for her that she was brainwashed.
it's crazy, and I do I yeah I don't want to didn't want to derail you because you were making a good point about sometimes we do like I know I need to focus on like the positive stuff, and
Yeah.
I'll say this, like I've seen people come together. Like, I've been supported by the Jewish community.
Oh, we
Uh,
love you. Us
oh,
Jews
man,
love
like, I get, like, messages, I get, like, so much support, and, they've been wonderful. And Jews have, like, really coalesced, they've really come together.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. I mean, I feel like we still need to work on like, you know, organizing our messaging and really figuring out what it is that we wanna say. But yeah, we stick together,
I could use, one of our episodes to be on what you th like, educating me on what you think the Jewish community could do better.
Oh, I would love to because I have a bunch of I every once in a while update my marketing strategy. I try to do a strategy because that's my background, you know?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess we're past time.
We are past time, and yeah, so we will be on every week, and we're gonna start having special guests.
Hmm.
We're not sure yet what that looks like.
Yeah, but they'll be amazing, and
That'll be incredible.
we're gonna be here regularly. Friday 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern,
Yeah.
and we're gonna cover a whole host of subjects, and we're just gonna have fun with it.
Yeah, because we
And
have
we
to.
will probably be a little more organized in the future, but maybe not much.
Maybe not. No, 'cause our conversations end up, like, just moving along organically, so
We're not getting. I mean, Israel's not even paying me for this.
God, me either. What the heck?
Like, honestly, no Hasbara. Like, what's the point?
I guess we're just gonna have to do it from the bottom of our hearts.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Crazy enough as it sounds, I actually am doing this because I believe it.
Me too.
So
Well, then you believe it, that's even bigger. Me, I kind of, yeah, but yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It brought you back, but you're the super Zionist. So
I am super Zionist. I need a cape with a Z on it.
all right. Well, bye everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.